Hey guys, welcome back. Today, as promised, I'm going to be showing you part 2 of teaching your horse's collection. So last time we went into a little bit of detail on the mental side of collection, what your horse needs to be doing there, and then we started working on some collection at a walk and a trot. And mostly all we were doing was getting the horse to soften in the chin just a little bit and also break at the withers here. So like I talked about, a lot of people want to focus on the horse breaking here at the poll and kind of tucking his chin here. And this is a mistake that I made when I first started teaching collection years ago. And I thought that softness there was collection, but collection is not a headset. Collection is when the horse picks its back up and rocks its weight to the haunches so it's prepared for any maneuver we may ask him to do. So getting a horse to break at the poll and soften the chin is not going to achieve that. In fact, if you get a horse too far past the vertical, it just puts him in a bind to where he can't actually perform any of the maneuvers you want him to do correctly. So our focus is to get them to soften here through the withers, and if we can get this whole top line soft, then we can get them to lift the back and rock the weight back. We can control a lot more of that. So I explained that in a couple of my other collection videos, but I just wanted to go over that really quickly before we got into this. Now this horse is doing a lot better about carrying himself collected at a trot. I'll show you that right here. I just stepped on this horse. He's had no warm up, so if he's kind of popping up and down or doing some funny stuff, that's okay. Just some cold stuff, and I'll jump right into it here. So you can see there when I squeeze my legs, the horse softens really nicely. He softens in the chin when I ask him to, and he also softens all the way through the top line. Now I'm going to go back into a little bit of that bending exercise, make sure I've got that rib cage there, where when I put my leg on the inside here, I can soften the horse's whole body all the way through himself. This is just a good exercise to run through every time you step on, every time you're going to be working on this exercise and asking your horse to collect. So again, softening the horse's chin, softening his withers, softening his rib cage, and there's a really good flow of energy all the way through his body. And you can see how when I ask him to lift his back, he really does his best effort to make that happen. I'll go to the right and show you it this direction as well. Very nice. A little bit of push on that rein there, but I'll just soften him up with my inside leg and ask him to stay over here. Good deal. I'll wait till he's a little more consistent on this side. He keeps wanting to pop out of it a little bit when I make contact there. There we go. That's really nice. So I'll squeeze, and you can see how the horse gets really nice and soft. Attaboy. Okay, so before we start working on this at a lope, it's very important that your horse can do your walk to trot transitions and stay collected. Okay, if every time you go from a walk to a trot, he kind of pops up like this, tosses his head up every time, you know he's probably not going to have the strength to carry collection at a lope. So I like to be sure that my horse is very well versed on what I'm asking him to do, and he knows his job before kind of kicking it up a notch and asking him to do it at the next stage. He's distracted by some of the other youngsters running around in the back pasture there. There we go. Now this horse naturally has pretty nice departures. I have another video on getting really good departures on your horses, really soft departures. And I obviously don't really have to show it on this one because he naturally carries himself in such a way. He's built pretty uphill, and so he's not having to fight himself as much to take those departures. So you're not going to see a big moment where he usually throws his head up to get them done. All right, so we're loping around here. You can see he's in a very free head carriage. He's balanced, he's mentally collected, but there's no physical collection happening. So what I'm going to do is the same thing that I would do at a trot here. I'm just going to pick up my reins here, close my hands, and start squeezing my legs. Now this is a point where a lot of horses might lose momentum, and you're going to have to kind of kick them through it. I've had a few people ask me in my other videos, especially at a walk, they're like, why are you bumping your horse so much? And the answer to that is because when I start working on collection, the horse has to have impulsion to get this done, okay? If you're riding along and suddenly you go like this and your horse pitters out and stops, even though you're squeezing and you're drawing those reins and you're closing your fingers and asking him to soften, then you have nothing to work with. The horse has to continuously drive in order to make this happen, okay? So when you start this, there's going to be a little bit of confusion about what that horse needs to do. He might not know. All we've taught him up to this point is how to stop when we pull. And so when you start making contact and asking him to drive through himself a little bit, then they want to slow down. That's why sometimes you'll see me fanning my horses a little bit, bumping, driving, asking them to keep moving, keep moving, keep moving while we work on this collection. And I'll squeeze, and then I'll bump, 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 drive them forward again, and then I'll squeeze. So that's the reason for why you see me continuously driving sometimes when I'm working on certain maneuvers, such as the turnarounds on green horses. Very much so on green horses, I want them to extend and really use more impulsion to get these maneuvers done, okay? It eliminates a lot of that confusion for the horse. Let's bring it back up to a lope. There we go. A little bit of head toss there. So in the beginning, I do not care if they raise their head up when they lope off. Right now, we're gonna be working on that, lifting the back up once they're in the lope, okay? Because to get a collected walk to lope departure, that's a pretty advanced maneuver, and it takes, the horse needs to have that strength and understanding established already once he's in the lope. Okay, so we'll squeeze here, squeeze, wait, wait, he came up, there's a trailer pulling in. This is a really good opportunity, there we go, to show you what I'm talking about. Because often that horse's head will pop up. When you close your fingers on those reins and you ask him to drive, he's gonna be confused. The head's probably gonna come up a little bit like that, and you're gonna say, keep going, driving, wait till you get a little bit of a response. The withers soften, the chin softens, and you're gonna release. You're not gonna feel a big move where that horse lifts up his back right in the beginning. That was beautiful. I'm gonna bring it back down, and I just ask for this a couple strides at a time. You can see he's not softening here as he comes down, so I'm gonna wait him out and just ask him to soften. He's getting a little past the vertical, but not lifting his back, and there it was for a moment. Now he's getting really stiff in the chin to the left, so I'm going to take him back off on a bend over here and soften that rib cage and adjust as needed. So if you ever feel that you're losing other elements when you go to the lope, go back to the basics, work on getting your horse soft and supple, make sure he understands what you want, and then you can go bring him back up to a lope. Very nice. That was a beautiful departure for him. This horse has about 5 months of training so far, so I'm really happy with where he's at for that stage. There we go. You can see I keep kind of bumping with my inside leg and softening him to the left, because if we can get softness on an arc, get the energy flowing like I talked about in our first video, then it's much easier for us to soften the horse's top line. Wait him out, there it was. There's just going to be small glimpses of greatness, okay? So keep your eyes peeled, because it's not like I'm going to be holding him in position for a long time. I'm going to ask for it again. Squeeze, close my hands, wait, there it was, and leave him alone. Right now it's just one stride. He'll come down, lift the back up, and I leave him alone. Once again, there it was, right there. Do it again, wait, there it was, good job. Bring him back down, lift him up. There. Good job. All right, so now we'll bring him up to a lope on the right. That was a really, really beautiful walk to trot transition. You notice he didn't raise up at all. It's very consistent here. Look how beautiful that is. That's just about as flawless as it can get. Okay, I'm just gonna leave him alone now. Ask him to step up, wrong lead. Bring him back down. He's a little stiff to the right. He's looking at this other horse coming in the arena. I'm going to soften him up just a little bit, get his mind back where it needs to be, and then we'll go ahead and lope off again. There we go. This horse has a beautiful lope. I really love the elevation he has. Good job. Okay, so I'll get him loping around here just a minute, and I'll squeeze. He's softening in the chin, but not lifting his back. There we go. We're waiting for him to soften in the withers. I'm going to say, keep moving through this. I understand there's a horse that came in here, but you need to focus. Oop. Okay, a little bit of a... There we go. Little hiccup right there. Keep going. Still has some baby moments. That's okay. Squeeze. Ask him to soften. They're going to get scared of each other. Just bring him back up to a lope here. There we go. Once again, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So his chin's softening, but he's really not lifting his back because he's still pretty worried about that horse there. So you can see he's not softening through the withers or the top line. He's just trying to do the minimal compliance here because he's so distracted by whatever else is going on in the arena. Just gonna wait him out here. There, now he saw him. He really kind of softened all the way through the top line and lifted himself up there. He's getting a little fast, a little worried. That's okay. This is really good for these horses because even though it kind of throws a wrench in your plans a little bit maybe, it's so good for them to learn to stay focused on a job. Beautiful, that was very, very nice. I'll bring it back down to a walk here. It's so good for them to learn to stay focused on their job regardless of what's happening around them. And if I was in a show environment, this is one huge reason that we do like to teach collection, is because it can really help us keep these horses between our hands and legs and stay focused on their job despite what's happening around them. Good job. Whereas if your horse never has that cue and he doesn't know how to come back to you, lift his back, get focused, whenever he loses his mind, he starts looking around, what are you going to do? You can't pull on his face harder if you bring him back to you. Good job. All right, back up to a lope again. Very nice. I love how soft he stays there. Okay, squeeze, wait for him to soften, softening in the chin, but again, there it was. There he lifted his back. And you'll notice I never pull harder to try and get him to collect, okay? If it's not happening, I wait him out, I squeeze harder with my legs. Now this horse, at no point has he tried to run off away from my leg. So I want to talk a little bit about what to do if that does happen, because a lot of people have not solidified in their horse's mind what squeezing the leg means. And as the horse tries to figure this out, often he's going to try to run off your leg. Okay. So if you have your horse going around here and you start squeezing and you close your hands and he's trying to run all away from the leg and stuff, I want you to just kind of hold him there. Don't pull harder, don't kick, don't raise the anxiety level, and give it a few strides. See if that horse is still mentally checking in with you and responding to your reins. If at any point that horse kind of takes the bit and pushes into it and just starts going faster and faster and you know you've lost control in the face, break him back down to your walk, break him back down to a trot. Remind him what you're asking him to do. Remind him that leg does not mean go. You just want him to soften up. Going back to your bending exercise is a great place to start. You can go back here, do this, squeeze, wait till he lifts his back. Notice how this horse is not really lifting his back. He's softening his chin again. I'm just waiting. There we go. Well, a little bit more. There we go. Lift. There we go. Very nice. And you can go back to exercises like that. Don't continue to try to run around there and just start wrestling with your horse and fighting with your horse. Once you started fighting and they're not responding to the reins, it's over. The game is over. You've already lost the fight, per se. So always go back to the basics. You're not losing the battle by going back. You're just helping your horse settle his mind again. A worried horse can't learn. I said that over and over again. So keep your horses relaxed. They start to lose it and they don't understand what it means anymore. Bring him back. Remind them what the leg means again, okay? I'll bring him up to a lope here again. I'll do this just a couple more times to show you guys. He's loping along really nice and level here. I would like him to lift his back. Once I start squeezing, notice how he kind of comes up a little bit. There it was. There. Squeeze, lift it back. Wait. He wants to get a little, he doesn't exactly know what I mean, so he starts kind of wiggling from one side to the other. There it was. That was beautiful. Squeeze again. Beautiful. That was flawless. Okay, I'm going to bring him down here. Very nice. And you notice that downward transition was so soft, so flawless. It's exactly what I want. He didn't fall down. He didn't raise up. Good job. All right. Okay, so now that I've given you the tools that you need to start this second phase of collection, what you're going to do is start working on building his strength up and doing it for longer and longer periods of time. Okay, this won't happen overnight. No maneuver does, but especially for collection, it takes so long to build the strength that they need to consistently maintain it. So what I want you to do is do it, chisel away at it a little bit at a time. And once you have this horse to where he never raises up, he never has to break or raise his head whenever you steer him around or whatever, I'm going to show you the third part of teaching your horse collection, and that will be maintaining softness and carrying the back up through all maneuvers, such as riding a pattern when you're steering, when you're backing through chutes, whether you're doing an extended trot, extended lope. We want to be sure that that horse can go through all those stages, all those maneuvers, and maintain collection. And I'm going to show you guys how to conquer that when this horse is a little bit further along. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, I always try to get back to everyone. We'll see you guys in the next video.